On problem number 10, we need to write the equation of an ellipse. We're given the vertices and the co-vertices, and then it also says to graph the ellipse. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the vertices and the co-vertices to graph it, and then write the equation from there. The vertices are at negative 6, 0, and 6, 0. So here is my point at 6, 0, and at negative 6, 0 would be here. And then my points at 0, 3, and 0, negative 3. 1, 2, 3. Kind of hard to see on this graph. These would be the vertices and the co-vertices for my ellipse. Remember that the vertices are the farthest away from the center. Since if you were to connect the co-vertices and connect the vertices, they would cross at the origin. The center is actually at the origin, which is going to make the easiest format of the equation. So I know right now centered at 0, 0, and since I know it's an ellipse, I know I have these fractions for my equation. I know that I have a plus in the middle. I know that I have equals to 1. Since I'm centered at 0, 0, I can fill in the top part of the equation by saying x squared here and y squared here. And the only other thing I need to do is find out these bottom numbers, and that comes from the distance that the vertices are from the center and the co-vertices. Since the vertices are 6 away from the center, that's a horizontal distance. So under my x, 6 squared is 36. Remember that you're going to take this distance as like your x distance, and then you're going to square it because x squared. So you get 36. For the y squared part of it, for the y part of it, this distance is a distance of 3. So the y number is 3. So we would do 3 squared and get 9 under the y squared. And then this is the standard equation, but I did not finish graphing. If I don't go back and finish graphing, I'm going to lose points on the test. So I need to go back to the graph, and I need to connect my vertices and co-vertices and sort of make that, that football sort of shape. And that's all that I need to do. They did not ask for the foci on this one, so I don't have to put them. If they did ask for them, remember that you do 36 minus 9, and you would subtract because this is a plus, and to find the foci, you do the opposite of whatever this sign is. So here we would subtract and square root and find the foci if we were asked to do that. On number 11, we are doing the same type of thing, but we have a hyperbola instead of an ellipse. So I have the vertices and the foci on this one. So I'm going to graph what I'm given as far as the vertices first. The vertices are 0, negative 3, and 0, 3. So down 3 for one of them. So we graph the vertices that were given. One was at negative 3. The other is at positive 3. These are my vertices. With the hyperbolas, we don't have the co-vertices, so it makes it a little bit more complicated to figure it out. So right now I'm going to find the center using just the vertices. The center will actually be the midpoint between them, and if you want to use the midpoint formula, you can, or if you have a graph, you can just count and see that it's a distance of 6 total, so 3 is putting me in the middle. So the center for the hyperbola on this one is 0, 0, which is good because that's easy to deal with. At this point, knowing it's a hyperbola, you know that you have minus, you know that you should have fractions, and you should say equals to 1. Depending on where the vertices are that you are given will determine what the letter is that goes in the front. Since my vertice here is at 0, negative 3, and this one is at 0, 3, I know that my hyperbola is going to be opening up and down. This tells me that I need to start with the y letter. So I need to put my y's over here, and since it's centered at 0, 0, it's just y squared. This being 0, 0 means that this one will be x squared, and now I just need to figure out the numbers that go on the bottom. So I need the number for the y value. I can find that number by using my vertice and the distance between it and the center. This distance is 3. So the y number is 3. And then you're going to square that number to get the y squared number. So 3 squared is 9, so 9 goes under the y squared. So you should be able to figure out at least this part of it without too much work. And even if you just get this much of it, you can get partial credit if you forget how to do the rest of it. But we're given these foci, and we're going to use those to finish up the equation. Remember that the foci, that's like your C value. So I'm going to plot these foci. One was at -5, y value -5, and y value +5. And the x value of those was 0. So here's the foci. And the distance that the foci are from the center is they are 5 away from it. So the C value is 5. And we would treat these values, even though it's calling this y squared, this would be like our a squared. The x squared would be like our b squared, equals to c squared, which would be 25, because 5 squared is 25. And then to get b squared, which remember b squared is the number that's going to go right there, we're going to subtract 9. B squared is 16. And this is the equation. Now we did have to finish, nope, we didn't have to graph it, so all we had to do was write the equation. So that's all that you need to do for that one.